Hello and welcome to another Odds and Ends episode. In this episode, we'll be talking about cattle inbreeding in different breeds of cattle. Let's get started. Inbreeding depression is a growing concern within dairy cattle. The genetic diversity of cattle populations has been declining due to intensive selection within dairy cattle populations. This has resulted in remarkable genetic gains in several different traits, including milk production. But this intensive selection has also come at the cost of increasing the amount of inbreeding. I can recall one horror story during my time at the University of Guelph as an undergrad, where one of my classmates talked about how he bred a dam to our sire, which is to say, did some father-daughter inbreeding to improve yield. There, however, is a reality. Fitness traits are particularly sensitive to inbreeding, and in many cases, we've been seeing reduced production performance in dairy cattle in many populations. Traits such as reproduction and yield will also eventually go down over time as well because of inbreeding. Technology has changed how reproduction has been happening, however. For instance, artificial insemination techniques allowed one stud animal to fertilize hundreds of different female cows to produce offspring. As a consequence, during the early days of artificial insemination, the amount of sire lines declined, with only a small number of elites being used to breed the female cattle. However, in some instances, with the ability to utilize multiple different sires through artificial insemination, has actually increased the amount of within her genetic diversity. The development of embryo transfer technology has done similar things, although not at the same level. The fertilizing of specific elite cows, taking out the embryo, and then transferring it to another cow, has likewise reduced the amount of females being used as genetic lines. And the experiments of cloning, if successful, will set this even further down, a path into the shallow end of the gene pool. However, there's also been several plans which allow for cryopreservation of cattle sperm to allow for the reintroduction of older genetics from a wider gene pool. Genetic selection has also been used and has clearly altered cattle breeding. It has reduced the amount of co-selection of relatives by accurately creating a pedigree chart that allows for reduced inbreeding, but in practice has also caused increased inbreeding due to the shorter generation interval between breeding opportunities. As you can see, all these technologies have had their positives and negatives. They can be used to increase genetic diversity, and can be used to lower it as well. The effect of inbreeding has been very consequential, and the researchers, Dr. Christine F. Bays of the University of Guelph, did a large-scale review of the scientific paper to see how inbreeding affects cattle overall, and here are the results. The general estimates of the genetic loss caused by inbreeding in terms of milk production ranges between minus 19.7 kilograms to minus 29.6 kilograms, a net loss of kilograms of milk. Now, how did this happen? Each increase of 1% inbreeding reduces production capabilities by 0.4 to 0.6%, but its negative effect is cumulative and non-linear in nature, so the further you inbreed, the worse it gets, although it's likely small and not noticeable in the early stages, hence why it got this far. This is what's gone down in Holsteins and a subpopulation of Jerseys within Australia. From a female fertility standpoint, inbred cattle had a 1.68% lower pregnancy rate in comparison to non-inbred animals. Calving ease was also reduced by 12.5%. Also a cumulative increase of 0.06% per generation of inbreeding in stillbirths, longer calving periods, higher age at first birth, and lower survivability of the resulting offspring. These are small percentages, but are cumulative and non-linear in nature. In one population of Jerseys, there's a 10% increase in inbreeding. This resulted in a 3% loss in fertility of the females. Similar results were found in Ayrshire cattle and Holstein cattle. Research has found that in all breeds, inbred males did not have lower levels of sperm, but they did have less viable sperm that were unable to move. Very few other effects were found in terms of male fertility. Next would be lethal recessive mutations. As a consequence of inbreeding, several lethal mutations have appeared that normally would have been masked by natural heterozygosity of the cattle. One such mutation is a mutation found in Australian Holstein cattle. There's been an increase in this mutation of 4.4%. This mutation causes a malformation of the vertebrae, which kills the newborn. There's also a series of mutated genes that are normally masked by not inbreeding and are rendered non-dangerous, such as the PNPL8 mutant and the CWC15 mutant. Both mutations cause a developing embryo to spontaneously die. And there's various other mutations that are normally masked by this inbreeding. One of the miscarriage mutations is called Weaver syndrome and is found in brown Swiss cattle that have been inbred. It has also been observed in Jersey cattle that have also been inbred. When the overall health of the current populations of Holsteins, Jerseys, and Ayrshires, it's estimated that the inbreeding levels have caused a decline in overall health by 12% across all populations around the world. So to conclude, inbreeding is bad. Dabo covers everything. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you really enjoyed it and think you can donate, you can do so at Buy Me a Coffee, link in the description below. Thank you for watching.